Coming up, it's the final days of the UN Climate Change Conference, and we learn how the U.S. has invested in over $20 million to increase women's economic opportunities in clean energy, and how UGA is making efforts to enhance the safety of students by creating a program to help make lifts cheaper. And later, burger chains At Farm Burger plans to open up a pop-up shop at Creature Comforts this Friday. All this and more on Grady Newsource News at 5.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Johnson, and thank you for joining me for Grady Newsource News at 5. Vietnam veteran and former Georgia Senator Max Cleland passed away on Tuesday at the age of 79. A Georgia native himself, Cleland's spirits lives throughout the state and among the hearts of other war heroes nationwide. Grady Newsource reporter Emma Robinson spoke with the Associate Professor of the University of Georgia's Political Science Department, Anthony Madonna, about Cleland's time in office and on the battlefield.
What particular moments kind of define Cleland's time in office, would you say?
I think probably the thing that if you read a number of obituaries about Cleland, one of the very first things that pops up is the election in 2002, marking kind of a turning point in campaign politics.
In Biden's statement that he released yesterday on Cleland's passing, he said that Cleland turned pain into purpose, meaning he dedicated a lot of his life post-serving, obviously to politics, but to also helping America's wounded veterans. I don't know if you have any comment or you can speak to the importance of prioritizing veterans' mental and physical health post-serving, but
certainly, like in his public work and his statements, Cleland was always kind of exceedingly open with his struggles stemming from being wounded and his work with veterans and encouraging veterans to kind of address those things as well.
Lastly, what legacy do you think Cleland has left, not only in his home state of Georgia here, but also nationwide as a war hero and political figure?
It is rare, I think, for the Senate to see somebody as decorated as Max Cleland was during his time in office. And I think Cleland is certainly well known for having bipartisan relationships that stemmed across the aisle for his service.
Former Georgia Senator Max Cleland's death has definitely saddened the nation. President Joe Biden honored Cleland as the essential driving force behind the creation of the modern VA health system, and noted he was a good man who loved God and his country. Senator John Ossoff hailed Cleland as a hero, a patriot, public servant, and as a friend. Senator Raphael Warnock stated, Senator Cleland was a passionate patriot with a big heart for our veterans, and he always put people of Georgia first. Social media is flooded with tributes to the courageous man who served Georgia for all these years. As we honor those who served our country in wars tomorrow, we look at the challenges they face as they go into combat. Grady Newsource reporter Kayla Robinson talked with a veteran who overcame his battle with depression.
The 6 inches between your ears is like the hardest battlefield you'll ever fight on.
17.2. That number represents how many veterans commit suicide every day. The total number has reached over 144,000 since 2001. Chris Husky, an Afghanistan veteran, shares his story of overcoming depression.
So I joined in 2007. I tried college, wasn't my thing. And then I got a full-time job. I was actually delivering beer. And I looked around and saw dudes that were like 20 years older than me, like doing the same thing I was doing. And I was like, I don't want to be stuck in this rut of just having a job, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'll just try the military, and if I don't like it, I'll do my 4 years and get out, whatever. But like from day one, I was like, this is where I need to be.
After receiving a severe back injury in 2015, Husky was medically retired.
Those first probably 6 to 8 months after I got medically retired, like I just crawled in a bottle of whiskey and stayed there. And a lot of the time you just have to like lean on one thing. You know, some days it may be my family, some days it may be my business. You know, some days it may be a bottle of Jameson. You know what I mean? Like every day you have to wake up and make a decision that you got to make today the best day that it can be.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression or thoughts of suicide, call the Veterans Crisis Hotline at 1-800-273-8225. Kayla Robertson for Grady Newsource.
The Biden administration has announced immediate action to address the supply chain issues, which are causing major port delays of materials, including steel, in order to fix roadways. $17 billion is part of the bipartisan bill to fix these port issues. The new policy will allow the Georgia Port Authority to relocate more than $8 million to convert existing inland facilities into 5 pop-up container yards in both Georgia and North Carolina. The new policy is starting this week after nearly 600-a-day international travel ban. Grady Newsource reporter Allison Castle tells people about what they need to know about the new policy.
New U.S. travel policy that states fully vaccinated individuals from other countries are able to travel to the United States started Monday. For sophomore Shay Jolliffe, whose parents and family are from South Africa, this new policy is great news.
I think the travel ban's been good for us. My sister is giving birth in February, so my grandma's going to be able to come back for that to see her second great-grandchild, which is good. So for us, it's like positive because we miss our family a lot.
Non-U.S. citizens or immigrants traveling to the U.S. will need to show proof of vaccination and a negative COVID-19 test taken within 3 days of their flight. To be considered fully vaccinated for air travel, people must have received their last dose of an approved vaccine 2 weeks prior to their flight. The Department of Homeland Security says people should expect longer wait times and to plan for longer lines when traveling to the U.S. Airlines will be in charge of verifying travelers' information and that they have met the necessary requirements to travel. Some exceptions for foreign nationals traveling to the U.S. without being fully vaccinated are children under 18, people participating in clinical trials, people with medical exemptions, and people who need to travel for emergency or humanitarian reasons. If granted an exemption or for unvaccinated U.S. citizens, people will need to show proof of a negative COVID test within 1 day of travel. Masks will still be required for all people regardless of vaccination status while on aircrafts and in airports. For people traveling to the U.S. by land, they will need to show proof of vaccination but do not need to show a negative COVID test. For more information, visit the CDC website under Travel. This has been Allison Casso with Grady Newsource.
The 26th UN Climate Change Conference is coming to an end, but the public calls to slow down climate change are far from done. Grady Newsource reporter Nikki Schatz updates us about the conference.
The 26th UN Climate Change Conference, otherwise known as COP26, is heading into its final days. Countries are coming together to discuss how they can combat climate change and limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Today's theme for the conference is gender. One of the primary goals for today is to create ways to implement the Gender Action Plan from COP25 across the world. At the conference, the U.S. decided to invest at least $20 million to increase women's economic opportunities in clean energy, strengthen action on gender-based violence, and address barriers to women's land rights. The U.S. is also using that money to support East African female farmers so they can better adapt to climate impacts. World leaders aren't the only people that can initiate change. Cal Jacobs with the Sunrise Movement in Athens says that it is crucial for people to collaborate to make a change.
You working alone, you can only accomplish so much, but you working in collaboration with, doesn't really matter, but one more person, you can accomplish more than 2 individuals. 10 more people, you can accomplish more than 10 individuals. And so I would say to that, if you feel like you want to make change, I would try to translate your individual effort into collaborative work.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released a study showing that limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees is a crucial step to avoiding an even worse climate situation. Dr. Njayan at the Odum School of Ecology says that every degree can impact the climate drastically.
The consequences that get more drastic with every tick up in temperature are things like increased heat waves, and there can be human health consequences, especially for vulnerable populations exposed to extreme heat in the summer. Those are becoming more intense and more common.
Tomorrow, the conference will discuss cities, regions, and built environments. Reporting for Grady Newsource, I'm Nikki Schatz.
Pfizer is asking the FDA to authorize booster shots for individuals 18 and up. Pfizer says their booster shots provide 95% protection against the virus with the third shot across all age groups, and that was shown across all of their 10,000 volunteers. Right now, Pfizer's booster shot is available for people that are immune compromised and that are 65 and older. It's now been over a month since the nation's strictest abortion law went into effect in Texas. Grady Newsource reporter Alyssa McDaniel tells us how the law could affect Georgia.
This year, Governor Greg Abbott proposed a law known as Senate Bill 8, which prohibited Texas abortions as early as 6 weeks. For some women, this is before they even are made aware that they are pregnant. Traditionally, federal courts have blocked such restrictive measures from passing, with their main defense as a claim that these laws are a direct violation of 14th Amendment's guarantee of due process. Despite this, the Supreme Court did not block the law from officially going into effect on September 1st, which allowed Texas to join other conservative states in setting up legal challenges to the 1973 Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade. UGA Chair of Laws Ronald L. Carson says what's exactly at question for the Supreme Court decision regarding abortion laws and how they could affect Georgia's future abortion laws.
It's not one of the most strict abortion laws. It is the most strict abortion law. They're not going to decide whether Roe versus Wade is or is not still good law. That's not the question they're going to decide in the Texas case. That is a question raised in the Mississippi case, which will be decided December 1st.
Carson says last year, Judge Steve Jones of the U.S. District Court found the laws regarding abortion in Georgia to be unconstitutional and a violation of Roe v. Wade, but that the state attorney general's office in Atlanta appealed those findings of unconstitutionality and declared that for now, old abortion laws will remain until the findings of Mississippi's abortion case is finished. This case shall continue to be closely looked at for recent updates. This is Alyssa McDaniel with Grady Newsource.
Civil rights leader Al Sharpton hosted a prayer vigil in front of a Brunswick courthouse this morning as day 4 of the trial takes place today in the Ahmaud Arbery case. People are rallying outside of the courthouse to show their support for Arbery's family and for justice in the case. Up next, UGA and Lyft's new partnership to help ensure student safety when leaving downtown late at night.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Have rideshare programs been too expensive? UGA has recently announced their partnership with Lyft for a new form of a rideshare program that helps these problems. Grady Newsource reporter Wyman Bailey has a story about the program and how it will help students and the public get home safely.
UGA RideSmart is a partnership between UGA and Lyft to enhance student safety when traveling from the downtown area. The program is designed for UGA students to be able to obtain an affordable Lyft, as Lyft rates in the recent weeks have risen for most people. SGA President John Marks says that so far students are accepting this program and how it benefits them.
Students are loving this. The announcement and getting so many students saying that this is something that they will use. It really seems like this both benefits students just as far as ease of life, but also encourages students to choose safer options.
UGA plans to invest $8.5 million for the next 3 years in order to strengthen campus security. However, the program is not just partnered with Lyft. Money will be given to the program already in place called Designated Dogs and new night bus schedule and routes. The primary purpose of the program is to ensure better campus safety and to also protect UGA students from recent crime. RideSmart will operate 7 days a week from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Students will only have to pay half off the cost of a Lyft and up to only $5 a ride. UGA student Zach Cantrell said that it's going to be a good thing to be able to get a Lyft and not to be put in danger.
I think it's really good. I think it'll make a lot of students safe, especially during the nighttime, because there's some sketchy stuff going on around downtown, and you can get a ride.
The program will become available to UGA students in a couple of weeks. They will receive an email on how to sign up for the program. Wyman Bailey, Grady Newsource.
Grady Newsource asked people around the University of Georgia's campus their thoughts on the new rideshare service, and we asked what they think about this campus safety initiative.
I haven't heard a lot of stuff from any incidents happening. I think there's a lot of good communication when it comes to something happening on campus. Information spreading is pretty fast, and I think that's important for the security of our campus. Yeah, so I'm happy with it.
I feel like it's decent, it's good, but it could be improved on. I feel like there's lots of people who don't feel safe, but there needs to be more policies in place, but it's good, it's not the best, it could be better.
Grady Newsource reporter also asked people how likely they are to use the new service.
I usually use Uber, so I'm not sure I've never used Lyft before.
Personally, no, because I do have a car and I don't usually go downtown or need a ride typically.
No, I have a car and I don't really go downtown or drink, but I do have friends who don't have cars, and I feel like that would be really good for them, just to be able to get home from school or downtown or whatever. So for my friends' sake, this is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. With this kind of price, for sure. And I think it's really good that our school is doing something like this.
Yeah, I've never used a ride service before, so I think UGA paying half is going to motivate me to use it instead of walking.
Information on how to sign up for this new service will be announced through email in the coming weeks. Potential changes are coming to Athens Bishop's Park pool facility. Grady Newsource's Ballard Ackway has more on how this will affect you and your family's summer.
The Athens-Clarke County government met last night to discuss a proposal to renovate the pool facility at Bishop Park. The proposed renovations have been discussed since the approval of the Bishop Park Master Plan 3 years ago. However, the new focus is being put on refurbishing the pool itself. District 3 Commissioner Melissa Link says updating the Bishop Park pool is of the utmost importance.
The pool is really the thing that, really is in dire need. You can't let that go. That pool's losing water. It could collapse,
Suggested updates for the pool include adjusting the pool's accessibility to the public, replacing the mechanical and chemical feed systems, as well as providing adequate seating around the pool. Recreation Division Administrator Eric Elliton says a remodeling of the Bishop Park pool would mean a lot to the Athens community.
I think it would be a huge deal for them. Bishop is our biggest pool and probably our most beloved pool in the community.
Elliton also says that this project is more than just a few simple improvements.
This isn't a renovation. This is a complete gut and build
Along with upgrades to the pool, Athens-Clarke County is looking to add a splash pad, an overhaul of the basketball courts, and updating the playground. The plans for the pool will be voted on next month in commission, and if passed, construction will begin in December of 2022. For Grady Newsource, I'm Ballard Ackway.
Over the past 4 months, Barrow County has seen a vast reduction in the number of speeders within school zones. Grady Newsource reporter Alexis Elmore tells us how this was possible.
Barrow County's school zone safety program has been in effect for 4 months, and recent data shows that the total number of speeders in the area has decreased by thousands over that period. The red school zones photograph drivers exceeding 11 miles per hour over the marked speed limit hours. Phase 1 of the program covers 9 schools, enforcing the speed limit, earliest start time to the latest end time for schools in that area. Kelly Morrow County resident says that the program is a moneymaker, though beneficial. Morrow says more to indicate school zones for drivers after she received her citation unaware of the Zone 11.
Passing lights would definitely be a benefit. Not know, first of all, that was a school zone on 11. The school isn't on that road, so the flashing lights throughout the time that the reduced speed is in effect would be helpful.
The Department of Transportation is responsible for choosing the school zones as well as posting routes to indicate radar enforcement, not the Sheriff's Department, according to Sheriff Judd Smith. It says that more than half of the money collected from citations by law goes directly to safety initiatives for schools, like new equipment for surveillance to protect students.
Some schools don't have cameras in the hallway. We've got some schools that have certain things to make it safer, and so we want to provide for our school resource officers.
Despite backlash from the community about the safety program, Phase 2 of the program is in works to add more school zones throughout in Winder and Statham to cut down on speeders.
Today, I want this system to be obsolete. I want it to be, we don't need it anymore because everybody is slowing up in school zones.
Warnings for speeding in school zones in the county are no longer being issued. First-time citations start off at $100, so Sheriff Smith says to drive, stay alert. For Grady Newsource, I'm Alexis Elmore.
Reduce, recycle is what Oconee County is saying right now. American Recycle Day is coming up on November 15th, and the county is preparing. The Keep Oconee County Beautiful Commission is partnering up with Oconee County Schools and the University of North Georgia's Oconee campus to host the Recycled Art Exhibition. The exhibition is called Reinvent and Reclaimed, and this day will be set up on Global Recycling Day. The feature will show art made from reclaimed, repurposed, and recycled materials like paper, plastic, aluminum cans, and cardboard. Monday the 15th, the organizations are calling for art to be distributed to the Oconee Schools District, Oconee County Library, and Oconee Boys and Girls Scouts. This call will continue on the 15th of each month until the exhibition is finalized, March 18th. The Oconee County Water Resources Department is being recognized award ceremony tomorrow for its gold standard water system. This week has earned the 2021 Georgia Association of Water Professionals Gold Distribution System Excellence Award for its work with drinking water, reclaimed water, stormwater, water supply, conservation, utility management. Water Resources Director Tim Durham, 15 other counties participated in the program, and Oconee County is among one of the top-ranked systems in the entire.
So what we're trying to accomplish for the citizens is that we're a well-managed utility and that we're doing the things necessary to provide customers with high-quality product and a high-quality service.
Athens is in full swing this week with events and activities going on until Sunday. Grady Newsource reporter Savannah Ware joins us live from the studio. What kind of events are still to come, Savannah? What's going on?
Hey Tyler, tonight there will be a karaoke night at Bouvet Cafe. Tomorrow night at 7:30, Pride will head over to Authentic Brewing Company where they're hosting a variety show which includes dancing, comedy, and more. On Friday, a queer prom will be held at the independent movie theater Cine. This event is open to guests 18 and up, and guests are encouraged to dress as their astrological sign, planet, or regular prom attire. Saturday from noon to 8 p.m., there will be a festival with live music, local vendors, and a drag show. On Saturday evening, you can head over to the 40 Watt Club at 9 p.m. to see Candy Muse from RuPaul's Drag Race. The week's festivities will come to a close on Sunday with the Pride Brunch at 3 p.m. at Authentic Brewing. Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test will be required for entry to these events. Back to you, Tyler.
Thank you, Savannah. And coming up on Grady Newsource, reporter Allison Castle breaks down the 5-day forecast as we prepare for some rain tomorrow.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids could look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in ourselves, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
And now, the weather.
Good evening. I'm Allison Casso with your Northeast Georgia weather update. Tonight, be sure to pack a jacket if you plan on going out, as temperatures will drop to 51 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures will be with a high of 68 and a low of 51. There's a 60% chance of light showers and a possible thunderstorm after 1 p.m., so make sure to pack a rain jacket and plan for some indoor activities. There's a 70% chance of showers on Friday, and Saturday brings some colder temperatures, with the high being 58 and the low 35 degrees. If you're planning on heading to Knoxville for the UGA football game this weekend, it will be 47 degrees right around kickoff time. Break out that new sweater and enjoy the cooler weather this weekend. Next Friday, there will be a beaver full moon and a partial lunar eclipse. The event will last 6 hours and peak at 4:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to set your alarm for an early morning if you don't want to miss it. This has been your Northeast Georgia weather update. I'm Allison Casso.
After the break, Grady Newsource sports anchor Davis Baker previews high school basketball in Athens, as well as updates on UGA athletics.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. But I need that back. No. Kevin!
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Thank you for joining me on Grady Newsource News at 5. I'm Tyler Johnson. Have a great night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other,
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Okay, I think we're live in the studio, yes. Oh, we're over there. I don't know how that happened. But, yeah, guys, kind of a weird show today. I think this is the first time I've been here where we lost track of time. We went from being about 10 minutes with under content to being 2 blocks over. So we had to kill some stuff, but tech-wise, I think we did all right. There was some audio mishap after that Barrow County package. Tyler's was a little choppy, but it seemed to fix itself. We got everything up and running, just being short-staffed. I think we all did a good job. And how about you, content producers? You, like V said, you kept throwing out content, you kept delivering. So thank you so much for that. Thank you to all the volunteers. I know some of them left, and our one manager who unfortunately never got to throw the live shot. But I know there's a lot to discuss about today, so Professor V, take it away.
You can give the... I'll let our intrepid producer, Alyssa, so what are the lessons you learned today? I would say this was the most challenging. I've got mine. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. This was the most challenging show because we had 5 people call in sick, 3 of them minutes before our morning editorial meeting. So we had to quickly regroup, and all of you had to help out, and all of you, I just love you guys. You were just incredible, all of you, from the anchor to everybody. Alyssa and I just kind of kept looking for ideas and coming up with new and new ideas and throwing them out there, and you all ran with them. And Emma, you know, I want you to share your, you know, your adventure today and what you learned and how you never gave up. And we just did it. I don't even know how we did it, but you know, as I said, I'm really impressed and really, really happy with everything that you have become in such a short time. This was very professional today. This was a big, big challenge, but I would like to let Alyssa share with us her wisdom, what she learned today.
First of all, let me just say, at the beginning of the day, we were 10 minutes under, and the only...
Yeah, it works when you turn it on.
So I'll just say, at the beginning of the day, we were 10 minutes under, and obviously we wound up being over by a couple of blocks because you guys are amazing. Today is the perfect example of why teamwork is so crucial, especially in the newsroom or for a show. People were not just doing one package, they were doing two. They were writing readers, VO SOTs, you know, using previously floated packages. I don't know, like hardly anyone only did one thing today. Like everyone was doing multiple things. I know I reached out to people with some really hard demands because of, you know, everything that we had going on, but being 6 people under, you know, the show happened. It looked okay from what I could tell, and you know, I'm just really proud of everybody. I want to thank everyone who got back with me really quickly and was able to give me more content than what we were expecting. I mean, it was really nerve-wracking this morning. We were like,
because at what time was it? I think it was like close to 2 o'clock when you were 6 minutes under, and I'm like, Alyssa, we've got to find another 6 minutes. And we ended up adding much more than 6 minutes, but
and Tyler did such a great job reading. I mean, that's a lot for anyone as an anchor to have to say and read and do all these VO SOTs, and he did it so well and so clearly and concisely. You know, as far as what we did well today, I'd have to say that being able to do more than just a package, like we did well with that. Like we really conquered doing the most, being that we have, you know, such a lack of people today. You know, what could we do better? Just, you know, I saw a little bit of shaky B-roll. You know, just trying to, you know, get a little bit more precise B-roll. You know, maybe more on person, like camera type footage. You know, just really that is, you know, something that I could say that we could do better. But as far as doing the most with what we could in the short period of time we had, I think everyone delivered.
Yes, and Tyler, you were very confident. This was your best performance. I think the fact that you had written, we had some of your 3 topics from the Grady Daily that you transferred to broadcast, and I could tell how confident you were because they were your own. You had written them. I know you practiced a lot because I could see the confidence and in your performance, and this was very strong. This is very strong, and I could tell you were enjoying this. You controlled it. You had it there. You were really anchored to it, and that was excellent performance. Very well done.
I can hand it to our digital producer.
Digital producer, who is our hero today. Not only did she produce digitally, she went and she got sound bites. She even did a smartboard hit. And speaking of, you know, multitasking, that was impressive, and it, you know, we're very, very grateful to the can do and let me do it. Let's see what I can do. And tell us what you learned and how many people said no to you today.
Yeah,
Somebody.
I really have never had so much of an issue with people saying
Yeah.
no. I feel like maybe they're like, okay, and it's kind of awkward for a second.
Yeah.
But I got 5 interviews, and I had 7 people say no to being interviewed, which was a good learning experience because it's like, all right, well, I survived.
What did you
fine.
learn from it?
Survived it. I was like,
Not to take it personal,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. If I walked up to one guy who was obviously studying for an exam, and I was desperate.
That's understandable.
I was like, I would have done the exact same thing if I were him too. But yeah, it was good. I got out of my comfort zone a lot today. I didn't know anything about being a digital producer, so that was interesting too. I had fun running around. I'm making a TikTok right now too, so I'm having fun doing all of that.
What did you learn as a digital producer? What was?
I think just the organization element of it was something I didn't really understand, and scheduling things out and everything like that, and really understanding how much it benefits our show, because not having done it yet, I've never had to think about it.
Yeah.
And it definitely does pull in an audience, which is the point of the show at the end of the day, which is just a huge part of the puzzle I've never thought about. So it was a good learning experience in a lot of ways today. But yeah, and everybody was, I mean, it was slower than usual, I think, getting contact to me today, but that was to be expected with how today was. Everyone was still super nice about it and very communicative and about why they couldn't get it to me then, which was appreciated.
And I saw you were taking some B-roll. What are you doing? Something special? Or
It's for the TikTok.
For the TikTok.
Yeah.
Great. So you're doing a TikTok on how the day went?
Yes, as a digital producer.
Yeah, because it was an interesting day.
Yeah.
And
I
challenging.
didn't capture all of that as much as I probably should have, because I didn't even remember the TikTok again until I was in there, but I'll try to communicate it in the script of it a little
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you so very much for everything you did.
It was a crazy day.
It was impressive, yes.
It was a crazy day, yes.
Yeah, tell us about you.
Crazy day. I'm very hungry. But yeah, what I learned, I guess I think you said something, just keep trying. I feel like everywhere. I went to the history department and the Veterans Center and the Special Collections Library, just going up and asking, because I've discovered I was like, well, I'm already on campus. That's the quickest route to find somebody rather than
go there.
Calling an email, because obviously I'd reached out to a lot of professors, but they're teaching, they're doing their job. So luckily at 3:30 or whatever, that professor got back to me and I was like, let's talk now. So I mean, editing wise and everything, not my best, but I'm just glad I got it in and I got something up there for Alyssa. I know it was the first story and it was important.
It was a story, and it was a very important story. And I'm so glad you got it off, because we needed to get man who will be remembered in history.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so.
Greatest, yes, yes.
I'm just
Senator
happy.
Have had here.
Yeah, I'm happy I pulled it off. Something to work on, I guess, is admittedly I'm really not the best working under pressure. So just, I guess, getting more experience with that and these kind of quick turn experiences will toughen me up a little bit. So
I thought you did very well under pressure. I thought you did very well. And again, you impressed me with on Monday you had your finger on the pulse of the news. Today, this was your idea. Even though you're a news gatherer, you again, sorry, but you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know news, and you have a good news sense. And so you end up doing all the newsy stories, sorry.
No, I mean,
but it's a good problem to have. I'm really proud of you. And never lose that news sense. Keep developing it, because you've got it. You've got it. And that's not easy to develop. It takes time. So I'm really impressed with the fact that you pitched that story and the fact that somehow you managed to get an interview for us and make our show really special. And I really, that was really impressive.
Thank you.
I'm really happy with you guys. And if you want to pass on to all my other heroes.
Yeah, I mean, mine obviously had to get floated because the show is so long. It's totally fine. It happens. And I probably would have floated the story about the burger place too. But
it's a little PR-ish.
yeah, it felt a little PR-ish because that was the first time that I have like actually worked with a PR rep with a news story, sending me content and stuff. So that was kind of something that I had to deal with today, was kind of a challenge of how to make my story not feel like an ad, which I still think that there's other things that I could have done to work against that even more. Like if I had had more time, I would have gotten more of my own content instead of like a lot of the stuff that I
and
used.
reaction from people, and yeah,
Yes.
and you know, background. I didn't want to push you,
Mm-hmm.
but because they claim that they are sustainable, that they have a healthy whatever.
I didn't have time to like really go behind and see if they
that
were.
had to be independently verified, or at least we had to have background information. Why is it so important to have such restaurants? You know, my students in my sustainability capstone do businesses, sustainable business, but I always tell them I will not approve this, but that's a feature story, so they have time to work on it, right? Not like you. Until you place this as an anecdotal example of many other restaurants doing the same, and put it in perspective, broader perspective, why this trend or of many restaurants like this one doing this is important for the environment, is important for social justice, or whatever. You know, it has to be put in perspective with data and information. So that would be my advice, and I'm so glad you struggled with it. Not that you struggled, but I'm so glad that here you think through and think about it so deeply, and that it was PR-ish. And one of the reasons why it was, because you only dealt with a PR person, that's okay, but that's only one side of the story. The other side is putting it in a broader perspective as one example of a trend, of something that's going on in the fast food business that is delivering on the environment, that is making a dent into the problems that we face. That would be my advice. And that's how you can avoid, one way to avoid being PR-ish. Yeah,
thank you.
Because but I'm proud of you that you're honest enough to share that struggle you had with yourself, because you're a good journalist, and I would be concerned if you didn't have that struggle with yourself. And because we were struggling today, I approved that script. You kind of, at the end, you were able to sort of add a little bit of perspective, but I was not comfortable with it either. But I know that you tried really. That's why I asked you, what is your second source? I was hoping for the other side of the story. And that's why I asked you, what is your second source? But I didn't want to put too much pressure on you, because I knew that it's a difficult day. But I'm really proud that you're thinking about that. It's really important.
Thank you.
And sharing it with everyone helps everyone. So, Allison, thank you as well for going the extra mile.
Yeah, so I did weather, and then my package from Monday got floated. So that package, still, it was like just one source, and I think it was fine, but I think it definitely could be better with updates on what is happening in the airports and everything. And I got a little bit of that context, so maybe an update on digital or something next week about kind of what the airport saw, I think would be good.
Yes, definitely.
Weather was good. Weather was fun. I liked people helped out with the graphics, or I think Davis asked in the chat a couple weeks or days ago, where everyone was making their graphics, and that really helped me out. I was like, oh, this is way better for weather than what was on the computer, so that was good. And then
you did the Max Cleland reaction. What did you learn from that?
I think from that, just kind of how to verify what someone said not from another news source, because I think when you go and look up, I was oh, the reaction to his death, all that came up were news stories or whatever, and I had to search a little bit longer to find where it originally came from, and it wasn't that hard, but you just have to know kind of where to look. And you gave me the advice of obviously social media is probably where a lot of their statements were, and so that was
a nice push in the right direction.
And you asked me also, I'm very proud of you, for one question you asked me.
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
if I like should find an independent source to confirm that he had died.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm just so proud of you that you're asking these questions, Shaylin, you, Emma, because it shows that you're real journalists. You've come so far, and I'm so proud of you that this is a natural thing that comes to you. Should I be verifying this? Because there have been, I mean, even the best of media have announced the death of people who haven't died. It just happened to be verified by various sources. And you know what happened? All these various sources who confirmed it, I don't want to say which one it was, but anyway, the reason why it didn't work, the fact that the various sources, they had it multi-sourced, was that all those multiple sources were getting their verification from one wrong source that got it wrong. And nobody thought, yes, it was the assault on Gabby Giffords, and she survived, you know, and nobody thought to call her campaign, her people. Had they called, then they would have known that she survived. And so that's why it's so important, even when you've seen several media outlets confirming it, it could still be wrong, because they could be getting their information from the same source, or at least ask them, where did you get that from?
Right.
So that is excellent. I'm so proud of you guys. Wyman?
Yeah, I think my package went well. It was interesting. I actually called a Lyft today, and he came over, and I was like, hey, I actually don't need a ride. Can I just film your car and you driving around and film getting in the back seat?
For free?
Yeah, and he was like, he caught my ride. He was like, what's this for? And I was like, UJ Rideshare, this is the program. He goes, oh, yeah, I know about that. He goes, yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, that's very...
Yeah, and he caught my ride after he listened. I'm not going to charge you anything.
Very
I'm
nice.
glad. He goes,
yeah.
He's like, I understand the hustle. Other than
and
that,
thanks for sharing this. Of course, sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I think it went well. It was a good story. Finding my sources was hard. I realized that the UGA PD cannot speak about anything unless you submit a request, which I did a day and a half ago, but they just saw it today, which was strange, and they said they had to let it process. So thankfully, I was just walking around the street in my neighborhood and saw this.
Usually, so I helps a lot.
Yeah, and then I just happened to get my second source from just a guy who lived down the street, was just coming up from class. I was like, mind if I interview you for this class or this story? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So.
Well done. The B-roll and stuff, you know, you've made a lot of progress. It really, it showed that the B-roll was something you had thought about, you had planned, and you were very creative in, you know, how to visualize that. Yeah. So, and the thing you learned the most was probably to make a call or to, So there's always something to be learned. Yeah. Very well done. Very well. Tyler, for you, this, although I must say, don't be upset, but in the middle of the show, the audio, something happened with the audio, so it's a little garbled, the audio, but the A block is just flawless. And then that's not your fault. You're not in charge of the audio, but I don't know, I have to watch the show, but what we were hearing in the control room, right?
What was
the
it,
audio.
like static almost?
Remember Davis's, one of his sports packages, how it had kind of garbled audio?
Yeah, it was kind of similar to that.
Yeah. Well done. The live shot that never was. Yeah, this happens, and thank you for hustling. So sorry, and thank you for helping Ballard.
But yeah, no, like honestly, like today went well, even though there was a lot going on. But yeah, Alyssa, you did a good job. That's all I really have to say.
Thank you again, Tyler. Like, he called me after I got off the meeting with you. He
Yeah.
was like, what can I do to help you today?
Good.
And
Good.
that was just so professional, so thoughtful and nice of him. I was like,
Yeah.
he really took the time, even though he had his own things to do, to call me and be like, what can I do? And so I'm so thankful.
Excellent.
Yeah, I guess that's just part of the job. This is just, Oh, thank you. I wish my sources wouldn't get on Zoom though, or they wouldn't do it in person. So it kind of stunk having 2 phone interviews. But it is what it is. Yeah, it went pretty well. I guess the package went, in terms of the package, it went pretty well. I just got some B-roll of Bishop Park. It was a nice day out too, so it was nice to get out. Alyssa, I'm sorry you had to deal with only 6 people in the newsroom today. I thought you did a great job considering too much content to do a live shot. So it was very impressive. I don't know how you did that. It was really impressive, but live shot. I mean, we got there in plenty of time. Got an interview pretty quickly. Willing to talk to us. We talked to him for a little while. Got to know him a little bit, which made it easier. It didn't work out, but it
But
happens.
it's all that. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's all the preparation that matters. So.
Exactly, and that's gonna really help you.
Mhm.
Because I get texts sometimes from students who say, "Wow, we did this, and now I've been assigned in the real world to do a plane crash." That was Irena, one of my former students, and she said, and I knew exactly what to do because we had handled a plane crash. And so I see it, when I get feedback. I mean, most of my students forget about me, but some of them keep in touch and just kind of send me texts, and so it's really nice to get that feedback because I know that helps me understand how to teach better and what works, and always to reassure you not to be disappointed even if something didn't happen. Always beneficial. So
yeah,
think of it that way.
It was good. It was a good experience dealing with adversity,
Yeah.
especially with the lack of people today. It was good to learn how to get package done quickly, and then be flexible enough to do the live shot.
Yes.
So I was really
and
happy with that.
that is invaluable experience.
That was a great experience. Yeah, of course.
That will give
no problem. I love those.
World, that somehow you'll manage that. At least that's how it worked for me when I was learning, and not sure of myself. And the more challenges I handled, the more confidence I built, and knew that somehow relaxed and knew no matter what, it'll work out. I can do my best, as I told you guys.
Yeah,
I see you're tired, as you should be. I love you guys. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, all of you. I'm very happy with you. And Alyssa, thank you also. We worked in tandem there somehow.
Yeah, I was really nervous about today. I'm not gonna lie. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This position, out of all the ones, is the one that
Take the mic, darling.
This position was the one out of all the ones that I was the most nervous about. And so, especially with the case of, multiple people being out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a sign. I'm not supposed to do it. But it actually turned out, and like you said, I'm not entirely sure how, I am. It's teamwork. That's exactly how we had over contact.
Yes.
It's because teamwork. Nobody just did one thing. People were doing so much more than is normally expected. And my appreciation for that is
yes, and everybody learned a lot today, and this is very valuable for you in the real world, whether you produce or not. It gives you valuable experience that you can use for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
So, all right, guys, give yourself a big hand of applause, and let's do it again on Monday. We have the CNN peeps who are gonna look at your stuff and I might have one more person critiquing on it, and then you have your job talk where I'll have more people who might be hiring or whatever. How many of you are graduating? You're graduating, you guys are graduating. In December. You're graduating in December? Let me write that down if people ask me for MMJs and stuff so I can recommend you. So let me write myself a little note. So Tyler, Shaylin. I'm graduating in December, but I'm going to law school. Oh, so I'm not going to, you don't want to working. Who wants to work as an MMJ and is graduating in December? Wyman? I'm graduating in December. Alyssa? I'm also graduating in December. And Savannah? Who else? Samantha S. Okay. Ballard, you are. Yeah. So you're graduating, but yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, and let me know if I'll ask also on Monday to kind of have my little list here when people ask me. I can. Okay. Go get some rest. Be very proud of yourselves. And I'm here for a few more minutes. Anybody needs to talk to me,